So I am heading to the Code BEAM Stockholm Lite conference. I was actually on the program committee as the word for this conference, so some of the choices made in who presents and all that, that's on me. If you have opinions, do share them directly at me, I don't mind. I rather like the lineup we have, and it's going to be interesting to do this kind of really tight conference. It's a one-day, one-track conference. And right now I'm going by train from Varberg to Gothenburg, and then I will do Gothenburg to Stockholm. Once in Stockholm, I will probably futz around a little bit. Don't have any particular plans. I'm there the day before. Yes. Until this evening, when I'm meeting my team and a couple of the speakers to have special fancy pizza, which is going to be good. Then tomorrow is the conference day. Then I'll spend most of that at the conference. Hopefully I'll hang out with people after, do all the networky things. I'm looking forward to a kind of lighter conference. Elixir Conf EU was very fun, but also very intense. This should be a kind of a lighter ride. I'm Lars Wikman, and this is Underjord. I have arrived in Gothenburg. Still one more train before I get to the conference, or one more train until I get to Stockholm. The conference is tomorrow. And we are here. We have arrived in Stockholm. Now I will see if I can get myself to my company office, which I have never been to. I have two colleagues in Stockholm. They have an office that I pay for, I guess. Yes, we have an office, and I haven't been there, so I look forward to seeing it and seeing what it is they do all day and where they are all day. No, I know what they do. All right, time to get somewhere in Stockholm. I believe I have arrived at our nondescript cellar. Right place. Let's see if anyone's home. I think they're here. Let's see if they open. Vill du vara i bild? My employees are sometimes very secretive, but I have arrived at our office. You can just hear the "No, I don't want to be on camera." So we'll wrap up here. Have some fika. Yesterday was good. Met some team members, met some BEAM people. Got to go to a jazz club with Isaac Yamamoto, so that was fun. Unlikely that I would have chosen to go to a jazz club on my own, but it was a good time. Now I am gonna get some breakfast and then head off to the conference. Subway, subway, subway. Subway, 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 subway. I think someone said hi and recognized me back there. I'm pretty bad at this. I'm new at this. I didn't really stop and talk. But I'm sure if they're going to the conference, I'll catch them there. Life is odd. Now, where did I end up? Okay, bear with me. Gotta catch my bearings, figure out where I'm going. I also have to write a newsletter today. That's something I'm gonna do. I put out a weekly newsletter, actually. And today is the day I'm supposed to be writing it. And there's also a conference, so I'll have to find some time to do that.
Okay. Here. It's kind of fun with Code BEAM, and it's kind of more difficult with Code BEAM. I don't actually know what to expect from the more Erlang-centric conferences. Like, I feel like there's more cohesion around the Elixir ones. Generally, I'll get myself a bunch of stuff about Elixir. Most of it will be useful or relevant to me. Like, the Erlang ones are in some ways more interesting because they are a little bit of a wilder set. There is almost always a bunch of like distributed system stuff. There's always a bit more from academia. There's like industry people that are doing things just strictly with Erlang. And I think Erlang is a little bit more fragmented. So there's a bunch of interesting factors that make these events a fair bit different from what I've experienced with Elixir Conf. And it's not bad, but it is quite different. And I don't know what to expect. Essentially, it ends up being kind of part my community and part like an older community that I don't have as much maybe investment in. But it's cool. I've enjoyed every Code BEAM I've been to. And I probably want to go to the Code BEAM Europe in Berlin soon as well. I think we're coming up on the venue. We're taking a right here. I think I see some developers. Oh, here we are. This is the place. Badge achieved. That, I'm sure,
shot.
this is probably how you frame tall and short, right?
I don't know.
I bet. So tell the people, you're here to talk about gardening, isn't that it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Erlang Gardening Conference.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Oh, I'm talking about Ziegler.
Nice to see you.
Yes, so this is Isaac Yonemoto, and he built Ziegler and a bunch of other things. You keep making new libraries, so...
Yeah. Ziegler is probably the one that's been in the works for the longest amount of time, continuously. Although the JSON schema one, I think, predates that even.
Oh yeah, JSON schema probably has more usage than
Ziegler,
by
yeah.
far.
This is true.
It's just like utility libraries.
Yeah, it's hard to talk
They
about
get usage. Not that exciting sometimes.
Not that exciting, no.
Well, the Ziegler thing is quite exciting. I'm actually learning Rust right now. So
Oh,
I think you lost me. But
You'll. Here's the story. It's gonna take you, 3 or 4 weeks to learn Rust. Just take 3 days out of that, and you can learn Zig.
You heard it here first, folks. Learn Zig in 3 days. Anything else is a waste of time.
Yeah, I mean that's not my quote. I have to give credit to Christoph, Loris Crow, one of the Zig team members, for coming up with that.
All right. Well, look forward to the talk.
Yeah, awesome.
Welcoming and keynote time. So let's go find the correct place. Let's go where the crowd goes. I like this skyline here. Very neat. There on stage, it's Erik Schön of Erlang Solutions, and I think he's gonna say welcome.
Hello, Stockholm!
Hello! And then we have the keynote from Vadne. It's gonna be interesting. It always is.
Basically, I didn't know how to program at all, but since then I have tried to solve some quite complicated problems. And because there is no concept of starting.
Vadne's keynote was great. I think she did a good job, and I maintain my position that keynotes should not have questions after them. Talks very rarely should, keynotes never should. People come and talk to me, and it's sweet and strange. Right now, they are off. I really like it when people come up and talk to me. It saves me a lot of effort during conferences. So, if you ever see me at a conference, expect that I am happy to meet people that like what I do. It's always welcome. Now, I actually owe my newsletter subscribers a newsletter, so I am going to pick this thing up, sit down, and write for it. The newsletter has been sent. Hope you read it. I am late to Isaac's talk. No good. Need to support a buddy.
And there's lots of like finicky tasks. Like how do you take a Beam term that's in and unwrap it and pull out the integer that comes from our
Lunch, the final frontier. You know, pretty decent lunch. Lots of good conversation. Lots of fine people in the background. Good conference so far. I've skipped a few talks to have conversations. I've seen some talks. Isaac's was really good. Evadne started us off well. I'm very keen to see Sam Aaron talk or perform or whatever it turns into towards the end of the day. Sonic Pi, if you follow my stuff, you know I like Sonic Pi. And just had lunch with him. So, fine guy. Very, very glad to finally meet him. It's always a kind of mixed feeling for me. I don't really want to wrap up the conversations. I just want to keep having conversations, but I also don't entirely want to miss all the talks. I was not ready for this. It's going to be the traditional OTP update with Kenneth and Dean, I believe. This is kind of a tradition. I really like this thing. It is sometimes a very interesting presentation. Usually it's a little bit dry. And I kind of like it that way. Something very OTP about it. Doesn't have to be fancy. It just has to be effective.
Further ado, let's welcome Kenneth on stage.
Thank you. Thinking about the next coming year. And no promises.
That was the traditional OTP rundown with Kenneth. Now, Peter Van Roy, I believe, is having a keynote. I am torn between that and maybe hanging out with some people. I'll see my options while they set up for the keynote. Don't tell anyone if I'm skipping the keynote, okay? Scratch that. I am definitely going to the keynote because no one else is around elsewhere.
Some of the many companies, and also you are part of this community, who keep the internet working, who are not mediatized. So here's the first law.
That talk went a little bit long. I couldn't quite wrap it up in time. Now I'm very excited that Coco will have their talk soon. She has done a lot of cool work with eVision. I have no idea how much of it will be on display, but I'm very, very excited to see. Love Coco. Has been a great help for my talks and like all the experiments I've done with eVision. So, OpenCV bindings for Elixir. Cool stuff.
Is by Coco. They are a PhD student and they have presented an earlier version of this work in the Erlang workshop of 2022. Now they are in Stockholm talking to us as well. Coco, thank you very much for being here.
Okay, thank you.
Played drums, someone played guitar, someone sang, and they formed a Java mega band. And they were up on stage, but they were pretty good. And I was thinking, oh, come on, this could be much more interesting, right? Why couldn't there be code in the music? Of course,
Sam is a perfect wrap-up speaker. That was a very good talk. Eric has improved his wrap-up game significantly. It was a very good close. Now it's drinks, talking, having fun. If we're really lucky, Sam will regale us with some live coding music. I really hope so. I haven't seen him live. I hope so. But this has been the Code BEAM conference. I guess I might cover my trip back home to some extent, but it's been a good, very tight conference. Some really nice conversations. It's been good people. If you came up to me, if you talked to me during this conference, thank you. I love getting in touch with people that know what I do. Thanks to the people who had me on the program committee. It's just been a lovely time. All right, let's see if there's a party. It has been a wild and wonderful couple of days. I am gonna sleep. Morning. Time to get ready. Travel back home. I am about ready to hit the train and go home. It is very bright out. People are building some kind of market. It's a nice area. Hadn't been so much before. Now, I want a coffee, something to eat, have some breakfast before I go to the train. Alright, that was nice. Let's go. It's been a really good conference. Enjoyed myself a ton. Met cool people, spent time talking to them. Particularly had a good time talking to Sam Aaron yesterday. Music, code, art, people. It's the kind of stuff I want from a conference, really. So, Code BEAM, success, even when it's a light one. Right, let's find ourselves the train. That's where I want to go. I like escalators, so does my little daughter. That's not what I was going to talk about. Never mind. Actually, I don't think I talked enough about Coco's talk at the conference. To me, that was probably the most sort of applicable and practical talk. So Sam Aaron's Sonic Pi stuff, for me, that's stuff I already know. It was a very enjoyable talk, but didn't tell me so much about anything new. What Coco did, like, okay, have explored the vision plenty. I'm pretty familiar with what it can do, but it was a pretty compelling show of what it could be used for. And the demo is kind of trivial in some ways. Like, it is solving a Sudoku, which isn't all that useful, but it is also about aligning and fixing a photograph document to enable decent OCR. It is also about turning messy input into something usable. So she started with a photograph of a Sudoku puzzle and kind of processed it until she could find the edges and the contours and align it properly so that it could be read with OCR properly and divided into regions properly so that you could turn it into like a piece of Sudoku data. And then with that, you could start solving the Sudoku. What I liked about that demo is that the OpenCV API and like what a vision can do and all the models and ideas that are packed in there is just a lot. So getting like an end-to-end clean cut through, like this is something you could do by combining a bunch of different processing bits. That's something I need. It's like the top-down but straight through approach to learning about how things work. So I thought it was super useful. Thought it was super handy. That was a neat demo. I'm also really curious. So I have never tried doing things with like SVM and Bayesian things, random forests, that kind of thing. but I hear they are surprisingly useful. And like Evision comes with just the UI now if you run it in Livebook, where you can just like, oh, I want to do support vector machines. Okay. That used to be state-of-the-art machine learning. Now it's like something you click a few fields and like, hey, let's support some vector machines. It's wild, absolutely wild, and I need to look into it a little bit more. Really cool talk, and Coco just generally does really cool stuff. So follow her stuff, and contribute, use it, that kind of thing. Yeah. I need to find some lunch to bring on the train. That could have gone poorly for me. The app was saying track 10. This is track 14, and this is where the train actually is. And I only really noticed towards the end. But it should be all fine. Looking forward to getting home. It will take a long time. Switch trains. Middle of nowhere, Sweden. New platform. Train will be late. Suddenly, I'm in Gothenburg. Okay, we are waiting for a train in Gothenburg, and I might actually try my hand at some coding before we go. We'll see if there's something worth seeing. Okay, happy fun computer and coffee time is up. I need to go to my train. I might not even be able to finish this coffee. It was rather large, but at least I get to go home. Let's go. Seems like a nice day in Gothenburg. Sorry, I can't stay. I got a cane to trash. Yeah! I did get the code working. Let me show you. Just minutes before I arrive. This is what I did. This is an image of, well, me. It's my avatar image. But it used to have a background. Now it has a black background. Bit of a hill still. Not ideal, not perfect. But this has just been me toying around with Evision and a little bit of an axe to take an image, segment out the subject, like a human subject. This is essentially like your Zoom background filter that will blur your background. Kind of the same thing. But for this case, I can do it to kind of whatever I want. So it's using U2Net, which is a model that seems really neat. It seems very capable. There's a ton of things it can be used to do. So gonna explore that. It can do a bit of style transfer, that kind of thing, which would be cool. So it's something I'm exploring, and I got some time to explore that during this trip. So it's kind of nice. Last train. No more of this. Another sunny day. It's been a good trip. This will have to be the wrap. Look forward to doing more of this.